Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm going to be using some new products today that I'm going to give you my first impressions on. I am going to wear these products throughout the day, but I will not be checking in or anything like that. I will list it down below what worked and what didn't. Okay, so I went to Walmart and I noticed that there were so many new drugstore products out on the market. So I did pick up a few items that I was kind of interested in using and testing and trying out. So those are the products that I'm going to be using today for this tutorial. So I'm not going to use every single product that I purchased at Walmart. I do want to show you everything that I got. Some of these items are just items that I'm kind of replenishing because I ran out, or they're just items that I want a backup of because they're just good products. So I wanted a backup, and a lot of times some of these products go off the shelves really quickly. So I wanted to go ahead and stock up on some of them. So the first item that I did stock up on was the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. This stuff is so good. This is what I've been using lately for my pores. I also use it all over my face. So you can use this not only for your pores, but you can use it all over your face. It reminds me of the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer. That stuff is really good too, but it's really expensive. So this is actually a product that I use on a daily basis, and I save my Tatcha for like special occasions. Another thing I purchased were the shadow shields. They look like this. You're supposed to put them like underneath your eyes when you're putting your eyeshadow on to prevent fallout, or you can even use them, you know, to kind of shape your eyeshadow. So I've had these before, but I've used them all. So I went ahead and purchased another box of them. There's 14 shields, so they can be used like 7 times. This other item that I purchased was the Palms Cleansing Balm. I love, love, love this stuff. I go through this stuff like crazy. I actually like it better than the Clinique balm, but yeah, so I buy the Pond's. It's like $9.98 at Walmart. So really, really good stuff. So now I'm going to go into the items that I purchased that are brand new to me. One of them is this Plush facial cleansing pad. This pad can be used to like remove makeup. So after I use the balm and remove all my makeup, I'm going to go in with my cleanser and this pad, and it should remove the rest of my makeup. Because even though you use a balm or you use a makeup remover, there's always gonna be some type of film of makeup left on your skin. So you wanna make sure that you take all of that off. And this seemed like it would be really soft on the skin, but also cleanse all of the makeup off of my skin. I did purchase the Wet n Wild makeup sponge. It's so cute. It has like a little bunny on the front. I will be using this today for this tutorial. So yeah, I'm really excited because I don't think I've ever used a Wet n Wild sponge, but if I have, I can't remember. Either way, this is new and I'm going to be using this today. So e.l.f. has this Flawless Finish foundation. They had quite a good range of shades there on the display. So I ended up getting like the shade Cashew, and it looks like this. It says here it's an oil-free satin finish, but I don't know a lot about this foundation. But what I'll do is after I'm done showing you this stuff, I can go ahead and look it up on my phone and see what kind of information e.l.f. gives me about the foundation. But yeah, I'm going to be using this foundation today. I'm also going to be using this e.l.f. Plus Matte Oil Control Primer. It says here that it's a clay-infused primer that helps control oil for a lasting mattified complexion. The soothing yet lightweight formula helps blur the appearance of pores while combating excess oils with kaolin, clay, and tea tree. I'm gonna actually just use this as a primer in my T-zone. That's where I get my most oiliest. And then I'm gonna use the Poreless Putty Primer on the rest of my face today. So I did get an eyeshadow palette from e.l.f. because they're claiming now that they have a new formula for these shadows and they have more pigmentation. So I did get the Rose Gold Nude palette. I think I have this palette, but it doesn't look as vibrant as these shades do. And like I said, they said it's a new formulation and it has better pigmentation. So I did want to try that out today. So for concealer today, I am going to be using the e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer. They didn't have a wide range of shades on the display, so I ended up getting the medium peach. They did have like a medium beige, but it looked too dark. It looked kind of gray. So I went ahead and got the medium peach. I'm super excited to try this because they claim that it's gonna last literally 16 hours. I'm not gonna wear it for that long, but they claim that it's long lasting. For powder, I'm gonna use this Physicians Formula, the Healthy Powder. It's in the shade MW2. If you've been watching my channel, you guys know that I love the Physicians Formula foundation. And I'm really excited to try out the powder because if it works just like the foundation, I know I'm gonna love it. So Milani came out with 2 new blushes that come in their little gold packages, and then they came out with 2 blush palettes. Now I did want to get a blush palette, but I figured I'd wait on that because I really didn't need the palette right now. So I figured I would try the 2 new blushes that they had out, and one is Sunset Passion and the other one is Petal Primavera. So these are the shades here, and they're so beautiful. This one is more like a, kind of like a more like a pinky shade, and this one here looks more like a peachy pink shade. It's really pretty. Milani blushes, the Luminoso is one of my favorites, and it works really, really well. So another blush that I came across that was new was this Physicians Formula Spicy Mauve Butter Blush. Guys, this shade looks so beautiful. I'm loving how this shade looks. And then along in the Physicians Formula Butter line, I bought a new butter bronzer. This is the one that I was actually gonna order on Ulta's website, but I ended up getting it at Walmart, and it's called the Sculpting Bronzer. And this is the shade. The shade is way darker, of course, so that you can actually sculpt with it, but it is a beautiful looking shade. I love the way that looks. And then for highlighters, I picked up these 2 e.l.f. highlighters. One of them is in white gold and one of them is in rose gold. I was on the fence about getting the white gold one because I wasn't sure how that was actually gonna look on my skin tone, but I really wanted the rose gold because this one is just gorgeous. Look at the design of those highlights. They have those imprints in them. They're just gorgeous. So yeah, I picked up 2 of these. So I didn't tell you guys what I'm going to use today as far as the blushes. I am going to use the Butter Blush because I love this shade. I'm going to use the Sculpting Bronzer for sure. And then out of the highlighters, I think I'm going to end up going with the Rose Gold. And I'm also going to swatch this one for you guys because I want to see what it looks like too. So I'm going to swatch that one. And I'll also swatch the blushes here, and I'll do all the swatches at the end of the video. So I picked up this e.l.f. Plus Matte Blotting Powder, which I'm not going to be using during the tutorial, but I will be actually using it during the day. If I get oily, I will use it and let you guys know how that worked out. And then I picked up, which I've already used one of these shades, and I'm so glad that I picked these up. So these are some of the best matte lipsticks that I have tried in a long time. They are so comfortable, and they're called the Milani Bold Matte, and they come in this beautiful packaging. I ended up getting 5. I probably didn't need 5 because I hadn't even tried them, but I'm really glad that I got them because I actually used one yesterday, and it's the shade I Am Smart, and this is the shade here. And guys, these go on so comfortably. They feel really good on the lips. They don't feel drying, and I wore it pretty much all day. It just felt so good on the lips. So I pulled up the information about the Milani lipsticks on the website. It says the iconic pigment-rich formula provides superior bold color. Easy glide-on formula dries comfortably and lasts for up to 8 hours of wear. Infused with Monoi oil to keep lips ultra soft and smooth, and it's available in 24 shades. I really think that that's why they're so comfortable, is it because it has that Monoi oil. Because when you put these on, they go on so like super smooth, and they look matte, but they don't look drying and they don't feel drying. So like I said, I will swatch all the shades at the end so you guys can see the colors that I got, but these are so comfortable. So I will be using one of these lipsticks today, and that's pretty much it. So we're gonna go ahead and get started with the tutorial. I'm gonna go ahead and wet my Wet n Wild sponge so that I can use that, and I'll get started with primer and all that good stuff when I come back. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put the Poreless Putty Primer all over my face. I've actually already moisturized my skin, so it's nice and moisturized. This is just like the Tatcha, guys. You don't need a lot. I actually just rub my fingers in there and then just place it all over my skin. Make sure your hands are clean when you do this because you don't want any bacteria getting in there. So I only put this on the outside perimeter of my face, and I'm actually going to go in with this one on my T-zone. So I'm just going to use just a little drop like that. This feels very silky on the skin. It looks good. It looks like it covered up those pores. It honestly doesn't feel like it's going to keep my T-zone from getting oily, but we will see. So now I'm going to go in with this e.l.f. Flawless Finish Foundation. I'm going to start off with like maybe one pump. It looks pretty thick. It's not runny at all. I'm just going to dab that. It has a really nice scent to it. It's like a very clean scent. Now I did wet the sponge and it's pretty soft. It kind of reminds me of the Foundation-Cashew sponges. So yeah, it's pretty soft. I like the pliability of this sponge. I'm gonna have to put more because you guys know I love me full coverage. So I put 2 pumps this time. Guys, this has a pretty strong fragrance. If you guys do not like to have fragrance in your foundation or in your makeup, this is probably not going to be a foundation you want to try because it's pretty strong. I'm just going on the back of my hand with the sponge now and just blending that foundation into the skin. That is like a perfect color match for me. Putting this on my skin, it doesn't seem heavy at all. It seems very lightweight. It really is not like a full coverage foundation. Now, I haven't read the claims of this foundation, so before I move on, let me go ahead and pull that up on my phone so that I can see what the claims are and tell you guys, and that way I know what to expect. Okay, so it says oil-free flawless finish foundation is their best-selling liquid foundation, a lightweight formula, blends naturally for a beautiful semi-matte finish, restores uneven facial skin textures and tones for visibly brighter skin. Yeah, it doesn't really say whether it's full coverage or not. It just says that it's lightweight and it's a natural finish. So I'm gonna go in with a 4th pump because, guys, to tell you the truth, it looks nice on the skin right now. It looks really pretty, but it's not as full coverage as I want it to be. So I'm gonna go in with a little bit more, only because putting this on, it doesn't feel heavy at all. So I'm just gonna go into those areas where I feel like I need a little bit more coverage. It's usually on my cheeks. And then I'll bring some down my neck. Okay, I like 4 pumps. I hate to say it like that because it seems like I'm using a lot of foundation, but honestly, it doesn't look heavy at all. It looks really pretty on the skin. I need to put some chapstick on my lips, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab some of that. I really don't want you guys looking at some chapped lips throughout this entire tutorial. And this is the EOS lip balm. It still has not set yet, and I don't wanna mess with it. It just feels like it's still on the skin and it hasn't dried. I'm gonna leave it alone, and then I'm gonna do my concealer. So before I put on the concealer, I'm gonna go in with my Becca, I always forget the name. The Becca Anti-Fatigue Under Eye Primer. I've been using this quite a bit. Okay, so while that is settling in, I'm gonna go ahead and use this NYX eyeshadow base to prime my eyes. All right, now that that's done, I'm gonna go ahead and go in with that 16-hour camo concealer by e.l.f. And here's the applicator. It kind of reminds me of the Tarte and the Tarte Shape Tape and the Too Faced Born This Way concealer applicator. It's a nice size applicator. So I'm gonna go ahead and dot that. This is very light, but like I said, they didn't have very many colors for me to choose from, and I really wanted to try it. So I'm gonna work with this one today. I'm gonna use the Wet n Wild sponge. Look at that. See how pointy that is? It gets right in there so that you can spread that concealer out. I like this sponge, guys. I really do. It feels so soft and it's blending everything so nicely. Don't be scared, guys. I know my eyes look really bright right now, but it'll all come together in the end. Guys, looking at this concealer, it has like really good full coverage and it looks super smooth. Oh my gosh, I can't believe how good this looks. I've tried e.l.f. concealers before, guys, and I don't like them, but this one, oh my gosh, that looks so stinking smooth. It looks so nice. I'm really impressed. I'm super impressed with that. Okay, I'm gonna go in with my Tarte Shape in tan and medium, and I'm mixing those two together. I'm gonna do some spot correcting. I'm gonna go ahead and set my face before I do the eyeshadow. And I'm gonna go in with the Physicians Formula Healthy Powder. So the powder looks like this, and it also comes with a mirror and a sponge. I'm not gonna use the sponge today. I love that it comes with a mirror because you can take it in your purse on the go and, you know, touch up. And I'm just gonna go in with this Morphe E41 powder brush to set that foundation. I like the color. Ooh, that set it really nicely. That is a beautiful powder. That is beautiful. Okay, so I'm gonna set my under eyes. I'm gonna go in with the Laura Mercier blurring powder, only because I use this stuff all the time. I'm looking to see if I need to like smooth anything out, and I really don't. It looks good. That concealer is blowing me away. It looks so good. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in with the e.l.f. Rose Gold Nude Palette. Like I told you guys, apparently it's like this new formulation and new pigmentation. The colors do look a bit more vibrant than the other ones. I'm gonna use this Morphe M504 brush, and I'm just gonna place this light shade all over the lid. So now I'm gonna go in with this Morphe E27, and I'm going into this shade right here. I don't see the names of the colors back there or even numbers, so I'm just gonna show you what I'm using. And I'm just gonna put that in my crease and a little bit above my crease. Well, it says it's supposed to be more pigmented, but I don't see it coming off more pigmented. And this is not like a light color. It's kind of like a light gray, and it's not really showing up. Now I'm going to go in with this Morphe M441, and I'm going to go into a little bit darker shade, which is this shade here, right here, and try to build that up. That shade's a little bit better. It's still not as pigmented as I thought it was going to be. But it's way better than the first shade that I tried, because the first shade was like nothing on my lid. All right, let's go in with another shade, a little bit darker shade. But we're going to go in with this one using the same brush. And what I'm doing is kind of just blending it. I'm going into the crease and a little bit down on the lid. I will say that these shades blend well together, so they look really nice, but it's the pigmentation. I'm looking for better pigmentation, so I'm like, that's what I expected. Okay, so now for my lid, I'm gonna go in with this shade here. It's like a pinky rose shade. I don't know if you can tell. It's this shade right here, right in the middle, and I'm gonna put that on my lid. That is beautiful. It blends really nicely with those shades that I put on. Oh my gosh, that looks so pretty. This is just a double-sided brush, so I'm gonna go ahead and just blend the crease because a little bit of that shimmer shade went into the crease. Just kind of clean it up. I'm gonna have to compare it to the other one I have, if I have the other one. I think I've already purchased this, but I'm not sure. So I'll have to look and see, and if I did, I'll compare the two. If not, I probably will end up keeping this because I love the way this eye look came out, and I love the cool tones in this palette. Let's go ahead and go into bronzer. I'm gonna use that Sculpting bronzer by Physicians Formula. So Physicians Formula came out with some new bronzers. I did purchase the Sun-Kissed bronzer, which I've already used, and then I saw this one, which was the Sculpting bronzer. I know there's another one, I think it's called like Brazilian bronzer or something like that, but I wanted to get my hands on these new butter bronzers because I love the way the deep bronzer goes on, and the original bronzer is also very beautiful. So I went ahead and purchased this one. I'm going to use it to sculpt today. Okay, so I'm actually going to use this BH Cosmetics number 2. It's the It's My Ray Ray line. So I'm going to use this to actually, because it's kind of small, a little tapered, not much, but it'll kind of sculpt out those cheeks really well. So this is the shade here, and I'm just going to go in there. Gosh, they smell so good. Okay, that looks really good. That looks really nice. I love that. It blends really nicely like the other butter bronzers. It's got a great color. I'm gonna put that on my forehead. Okay, that looks really good. It's sculpted really well. I know it looks a bit dark. I'm gonna blend it out here in a little bit. Once I put like my blush on and my highlighter. Because I sculpt my cheeks, I'm not gonna go in with any bronzer, but I am going in with this blush from Physicians Formula called Spicy Mauve. This color looks so beautiful in the package, and I can't wait to put it on my cheeks. Okay, so I'm going to use this It's My Ray Ray number 1 brush. It's supposed to be a powder brush, but I've used this for blush before. Oh, wow. Okay, this is gorgeous. And do y'all see that little shimmer in it, or that little glow? It's one of those blushes that has this like glow to it. Gosh, I love this color. Oh my gosh, I love this blush. I love that it has that glow. But even though it has the glow, I'm going to put on some highlight. You guys know I love me some highlight. Okay, so now I'm going in with the highlighter. And I'm using the Rose Gold Metallic Flare highlighter. Look at that design. Isn't that gorgeous? It looks so high-end. I'm going to use my e.l.f. highlighting brush. I'm just going to dip that in there. Well, not a lot is coming off. Do you see that? I'm literally like rubbing it in there. Oh, it feels weird. Oh my gosh, it hardly shows up. Okay, instead of swatching it, I'm gonna put it on my face. I guess I was picking up product. It just didn't show on the brush. And it feels like when you swatch it, it feels kind of like rough. And it's not because of the design on there. It literally feels like the product feels like kind of gritty. It looks like kind of like bumpy. I don't know, it doesn't look smooth, guys. It feels like powdery, like gritty. It's weird. It doesn't feel like creamy at all. And I know you can't tell on the camera, but I can tell that it shows like texture. It's just, it doesn't look smooth at all. I don't think I'm gonna even open this one. I'm gonna just end up taking that back. Yeah, that just didn't work out for me. I just didn't like the feeling of it. And it just looks really rough on my cheekbones. Let me go ahead and buff some of this so that it doesn't look so harsh. I'm just using this brush that I've had from MAC. So I want to go ahead and clean this up here. So I'm going to go in with a little bit of my Born This Way powder by Too Faced. And I'm just going to get a little bit in the cap. And then I'm going to take that Wet n Wild sponge, which I'm going to use the flat side of it. And I'm going to place it in the cap, and then I'm just going to kind of clean that area up. Just like that. And then I'm just going to take this brush and brush off the excess. And I'm going to just do a light brow today. I'm using my Anastasia brow powder in medium brown. So I'm going to use the Milani Bold Matte Lipstick. Let's go ahead and go in with I Am Smart. I'm going to use a lip liner. I'm going to go in with this Bobbi Brown Cocoa Lip Liner. Love this liner. Guys, even though my lips are chapped, this still goes on really creamy and smooth. I'm just going to put a little bit of shadow on my lower lash line because I feel like it looks really bare. And I'm just using this Real Techniques brush, and I'm going in with that second shade, the one that was more pigmented than the first shade. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and set my face with the Make It Last Setting Spray by Milani. While this dries, I'm gonna go ahead and do something with my hair, and then I'll be back to share my thoughts on all these products. Okay guys, I'm back. I'm gonna go over some of these products with you guys. I'm gonna give you a quick first impressions of these products to kind of sum everything up. So with the e.l.f. Metallic Flare Highlighters, I did not like this highlighter. It really went on like kind of gritty. It felt gritty. It didn't feel creamy. It didn't feel soft. Even though it packed on some highlighter, it just feels like it kind of gave a little bit more texture to my skin. And I don't like that. I don't like where you can see like bumps and things like that. So those e.l.f. highlighters are definitely going back. So the matte primer that I tried on under the foundation in my T-zone, I can't really say much about this because I'm going to be testing it out today. So I will let you guys know in the description box below whether it worked or not. So another product that I'm going to be testing out today and letting you guys know about is the e.l.f. Flawless Finish Foundation. I will say that this went on really nicely. It doesn't have full coverage, but it's buildable to about a medium coverage. I did still see some of my imperfections showing through the foundation, but once I put my Tarte Shape Tape on those areas where I need a little bit more coverage, I felt like it just blended in really well and it looked really nice. Now, it didn't really set quickly, but once I put the powder on, the powder didn't make it like shift around or move around. So that was a good thing. But I will be testing it out throughout the day to let you guys know whether it lasted. Another thing that I'll be testing out today is this e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer. Guys, this concealer looks so good. I'm like in awe. It just looks really nice and smooth on my under eyes. So I'm really hoping that this will work for me all day because this was super inexpensive. It was only $5. And if I can get a concealer that looks this good all day long, I'm going for it, especially at $5. So those are the ones that I'm actually testing out today because those are the more liquidy products. They're the products that you actually want to last so that everything that you put on top of it will last as well. So the next product that I used was the Physicians Formula, the Healthy Powder. Love this powder. Love the way it set this foundation. Love the way it looks. It looks smooth and it looks healthy just like it says. I really love the result of this powder. So yeah, this is a plus for me so far. I do want to bring up the e.l.f. blotting powder. I will be using this. If I get super oily in the T-zone, I will be using this today. So I'll let you guys know about that. The Butter Bronzer Sculpting Bronzer. This is so good. So good. I haven't found a butter bronzer from Physicians Formula that I don't like. I haven't found one that I don't like. And I've tried pretty much all of them. I think there's one more that I have not tried. It's brand new and I haven't gotten my hands on it. But this, it sculpts beautifully and it's like the perfect color. I like a more warm sculpting bronzer than I do a cool sculpting bronzer. So this is perfect for me and I think this would be really beautiful on darker skin tones as a bronzer because it's just a beautiful shade. It really is. So this is a plus for me as well as the Butter Blush. This blush is so gorgeous and it just leaves this beautiful glow. Look how gorgeous that shade is. Do you see that sheen in there? It's just, oh, it's so beautiful. So this is just what I expected it to be like and the blush is just, it's gorgeous. The e.l.f. Rose Gold Nude Palette, I will see if I have the other one so I can compare, but to be honest, I love the eye look. It's just really pretty. And even though the first matte shade didn't go on as pigmented as I wanted it to, the second one made up for it. It helped it out. It deepened the crease. And then those other two shades that I used, I love them. I love the cool tones in this palette, and I love the way the look came out. So this Wet n Wild sponge is probably gonna be my new favorite sponge. It's just really soft. It's very pliable. It has a perfect tip to get into those corners where you have your concealer. It did wonderfully when it sculpted like my jaw. It applied the foundation beautifully. I just really love this sponge, and I think this is gonna be my new favorite compared to the e.l.f. Now the e.l.f. sponge, the Total sponge, has been my favorite for a while, but I think this is gonna be my new favorite, and I'm gonna go back and get another one because it's like one of the best sponges that I've tried in a long time. So I had two blushes that I'm going to swatch for you. It's these Milani blushes, and I wanna swatch them for you because number one, I'm curious to see how beautiful they are and how pigmented they are. And then number two, I want you guys to see if these are some shades that you're interested in. If you've never tried Milani blushes, they are some of the best blushes out there as far as drugstore products are concerned. So I'm going to swatch Petal Primavera. And Primavera is actually a Spanish word for spring. It's actually called Primavera, but you can say it however you want to. Anyway, this is the shade. Oh my gosh. This is a shade here, guys. And this one is more of a kind of like a peach tone. But look how gorgeous that is. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad I picked this up. So that's Petal Primavera. The next one is called Sunset Passione. I guess that's Italian because it's not Spanish. And this is the shade here. And I'm gonna swatch this for you too. I'm gonna swatch it right next to it. Oh my gosh. This is so pretty. Oh my gosh, look at that. So this is a peachy pink. I know I said peach, but that's more of a peachy pink. This is more of a warm peach. Okay, so those are the Milani blushes right there. As you can see, they're gorgeous. Okay, so now I'm gonna swatch the lipsticks that I got. So you guys see that I'm wearing I Am Smart. That is what I'm wearing. I'm gonna swatch it for you on my hand so you can kind of see a little bit better of what the shade is, but it's this shade here. So that is I Am Smart. And the next one is I Am Pretty. These are super creamy, y'all. Super, super creamy. And this is more of a brown nude shade. It's that right there. And then the next one is I Am Awesome. I love the names of these. And this one is more of a kind of like a pink, like a warm pink shade. That's it right there. The last two that I purchased were darker shades. One of them is I Am Powerful, and it's that one right there. It's a beautiful like fuchsia. And then the last one is called I Am Fierce, and it's this beautiful cool toned red shade. But those are the Milani shades that I purchased. Very, very creamy, very, very comfortable. If you guys get a chance to try them, try one. I guarantee you won't be disappointed because they are very comfortable matte lipsticks. I love the matte look, I really do, but sometimes I can't find a matte lipstick that is comfortable on my lips. I have a really hard time with that because my lips are somewhat chapped all the time. I put Aquaphor, I do, you know, lip masks, but that's just the way my lips are. They just chap from time to time. And so, like I said, right now they're a bit chapped, but this went on super creamy and it doesn't dry out my lips and my lips feel really good. Okay guys, that is it for all of these products. I will let you know about those other products in the description box. Thank you guys for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this video and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.